Hi there. My name's Kevin Awakuni, and I'm a librarian here in the Exploration and Creativity Department.
Hi, everyone. My name's Lynn Wynn, and I'm the Young Adult Librarian at the Chinatown Branch Library.
And I am Diana Levo-Posner, and I'm the Principal Librarian, Associate Director in the Exploration and Creativity Department with the Los Angeles Public Library. And we're here to welcome you to today's LA Made, a visit with this year's summer reading artist, Brenda Chi.
Before we begin, we'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Humanities, our Library Foundation, and our behind the scenes staff for helping bring the LA Made programs to you virtually. LA Made focuses on the diverse landscape of Los Angeles, highlighting the immense artistic and performance talent that has developed in the course of the city's eclectic history.
If you'd like to see more of our amazing programs, please visit our online calendar at lapl.org/events. And for our LA Made programs, visit lapl.org/LAMade. Our website also has blog posts and video links that highlight the library's diverse resources and upcoming programs.
We would also like to take this opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the first people of this land, honor their elders, past and present, as well as their descendants who are citizens of these nations. For more information on which territory you may reside on, check out native-land.ca. And now for today's program with Brenda Chi.
Multidisciplinary artist Brenda Chi creates art that shines a light on Asian American stories and experiences with the goal of creating work that helps inspire and uplift everyone. As a 2023 Summer Reading Challenge artist, Brenda will help kick off this year's SRC by discussing her work along with her journey as an artist and the many inspirations that have influenced her work.
Also, don't forget, those viewing this program will have the opportunity to win a free SRC t-shirt featuring Brenda's artwork. I know Diane there has the t-shirt. Yes, that's the one. And if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the chat box and Brenda will answer them towards the end of the program. Oh, that's so beautiful. And now let's welcome Brenda Chi to our LA Made stage.
Woo!
Hello. Hi, everyone.
And then here's the email before we forget if you wanted to enter ecdepartment@lapl.org, just so people know.
And it's
all right.
Too.
Hi, Brenda. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi.
Yeah, welcome,
Thank
Brenda.
you.
We're so excited to have you here. Can you talk a little bit about your journey as an artist?
Well, I was always kind of the kid in the classroom who was drawing and be like, oh, we'll go to Brenda, she can draw or something. And I mostly drew Pokemon. And then I think, I don't know, I just kept doing it for fun. I would draw musicians or something. I was like into, as an angsty preteen, I started drawing musicians, doing portraiture or something. And then high school, I kind of took it more seriously. I got to know the art teacher there, who really encouraged me to just keep pursuing it. And then, I went to Art Center College of Design, which is a totally fancy art school. And here I am now. So it's always been a part of me. Yeah.
Did you have any did you have any artists that you kind of studied and emulated when you were first starting? Like, as a kid, did you read like Archie or anything like that and kind of copy those kinds of things? Or what were some of the things that you started out with?
That's a tough one because other than Pokemon, at one point I did stop doing Pokemon. It was just a lot of like whatever I could learn to draw because there was this knowledge of like, oh, well, you need to learn to do art. So I would read books on how to do art or something. The internet was not as awesome as it is now, where you could just YouTube it and like look up a thing like, oh yeah, I got this done. So I didn't have anything necessarily until I went into my training, because even back then, as a teenager, like even trying to find an artist online and follow them or find their site, like that just wasn't a thing. It was just a different time. Versus now, you go on Instagram, you can find all the artists you want to find for any style, for all the good stuff. So yeah, my training really came to when I went to college, because then we had professors who'd be like, well, follow this person and look at this stuff, and then I started learning from their recommendations.
Right. From Pokemon to art college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. How long does it take for you to finish an art piece? We can talk about when we reached out to you, which was, we were so lucky we were able to like say, would you like to help us with summer reading? And you said yes. But like that was a different probably process, but maybe not. I don't know. How long does it usually take you?
Yeah, it depends. So if it's like a still image, like the summer reading challenge, and let's say it's just for myself, it probably would take me on and off, like probably a week, just not because it takes a whole week, but it would be more like I'm gonna get into the zone, we're gonna start doing this thing, and then we're like, okay, I'm kind of tired, I need a pause, or like I'm staring at something for too long. In other cases, I might just go zoom through it for a day, right, and just like really hyper focus on it. But usually I don't, because I can start telling when my brain starts going like, we're not sure what's our next step because a lot of art making is a lot of creative problem solving. So in the beginning, we're thinking of sketches. What is it even going to look like? What are the ideas? And you have to dive into that and do a lot of ideation. And then when you then from there, if you have more energy, you would go ahead and think like, well, what's the best one? Okay, this feels like the best one. Are we sure it's the best one? So there's a lot of self-doubt as you go through every step. I'm used to that, of course. But with that, that's where the energy starts shrinking the further you go, right? Because you're like, I don't know. I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, what's it gonna look like? I don't know because I'm tired. I'm tired of continuously critically thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we met with Brenda. It was back in October of 2022, and just so everyone sees the game board, I'm trying to find it, you guys. Here it is, up close. We just met with Brenda. We said, the theme is My LA. Go. No, actually. We gave her ideas like, it could be, there's, we're a little ocean, or, LA is just so diverse and there's so much. And, we gave her some ideas, but I mean, this is amazing. And there's so many little details. It's like to me, when we got it back from Brenda, and we were like, I wanted to dive in to that. I wanted to walk the streets where the taco stand is in the agua fresca.
No.
It's so LA.
It's so LA.
I love it.
Yeah. It's like the person, it's not beautiful. The guy. It's a cool little person.
I mean, since LA is so diverse in itself, where did you get your inspiration? Or were these places where you grew up or where you visited a lot?
Yeah, I grew up in the SGV, but then I later just moved around in LA, ended up in Glendale, Hollywood, and then of course just living in LA, like there's so many things to do. So the big challenge was the theme that was given to me, which was like My LA. And right now I'm currently known for more of my work about just advocating for Los Angeles Chinatown. So I knew the focus, and also with Interior Chinatown, the novel. So I knew Chinatown's going to be a focus, but other Angelinos might not have it. I've heard it, actually. People have been like, I've never been to Chinatown, I'm an Angelino. And I'm like, okay, well, all right. So with that in mind, I'm like, look, I am probably going to miss something, but I can at least try to add enough variety that someone can recognize at least one thing. So I was like, taco stand. If you can't recognize a taco stand, I don't know if you live in LA, like that's definitely a vibe. Like that's everywhere. Hello. And we love them. So a lot of those pieces are either touristy spots or spots that if you're a local, you can clock it. I like the idea of like, what are the visuals of Los Angeles that when we look at it, or we immediately go like, yeah, that's LA. Versus like if there's a drawing of a building, is the graffiti gonna imply Los Angeles in some way? Can it? Is the signage implying LA? Is the layout implying LA? So I try to incorporate from my experiences living in LA and going shopping and having fun to that piece.
Cool.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tried.
Should we share
the values in there?
Should we share the slideshow here? How does that sound? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. If you want to bring that up, Steve. All right. So some elements of you. Yeah. If you want to talk about the different pieces.
Sure. So this one was this year I had my first solo show, which was in LA Chinatown. And it's more than a solo show for me because it was more a show where I was just going to feature all these pieces I did of Chinatown because I love Chinatown. And the backstory to that is basically I worked in Chinatown pre-pandemic, and I kind of wanted to know if there was an art scene. I kind of wanted to know what is there. So I started working there at a shop called East West Shop, and then the pandemic hit. And so at that point, I'd been familiar with the neighborhood and the ins and outs of people coming and going and stuff, right? Um, and then when the pandemic hit, it just was empty. And then we had our first Lunar New Year parade, which was like epic parade, right? Everyone comes to see the Lunar New Year parade, and it was less than. And then we hear, news about COVID and xenophobia and just the racism against Chinese folks. And I even had one customer come in and say, like, yeah, my friend said they don't want to come here because they asked, like, aren't you going to get COVID though if you go to Chinatown? And so, like, a lot of that ignorance was already there, and you could see it. And I would see these mom and pop shops, which are mostly immigrant owned. They've been here for at least 30 years. Just suffer because, like, what are they going to do? They work here 12 hours a day, but no one's here, right? So I just felt a need to want to do more pieces. Like, how can I use my artwork in some sort of way to amplify Chinatown and show how cute and beautiful it is? Also, pinpoint just these moments that I feel like if you are in Chinatown, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're gonna clock it and you're gonna be like, oh, I love that. Yes, I see that all the time. That hits a memory. A lot of my work is about pointing about memory and what that could mean to you, because I feel like that makes a very wonderful connection from the viewer to the artist. So this one is Sincere Imports on Central Plaza, both of them, of course. And I obviously it was like a parade or something, and the shopkeeper of Sincere Imports is cleaning up, which I feel like is such a moment of the neighborhood. If you see on the right side, to remind people that Chinatown is not a backdrop. East Asian culture is not a backdrop. A lot of people come here in Chinatown, take pictures of themselves on Instagram, which I get, but also there is this sort of underlying lack of appreciation of this ethnic neighborhood. So I wanted to kind of share a light on that. You can go to the next slide. And then these are more pieces. So this one on the left side is Kim Chui in Far East Plaza. It's Chu Chow food. They've been there forever. Oh my God, the food is so good. Highly recommend for noodles. And I just loved how lived in it looked, and that it was a business place, but it reminds me of my parents. It reminds me of like immigrant parents where there's like, we're not chaos. I'm too busy to care. We're getting stuff done. I tried to put some decor, and there it is. So I think there's a lot of charm to that. And I think there's a lot of like small businesses in Los Angeles has that sort of vibe. It's not clean, it's not perfect, but they do a great job.
Yeah. My mom would always call that lived in. It's lived in. It's like
lived in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel comfortable. Like, if I'm going to the West Side and I'm coming to a corner store and it looks lived in, like, I feel comfortable because I'm like, this is someone's family home or someone's place, the people's place. And then Dynasty Center. Oh gosh, with Dynasty Center, if it's okay if I talk about it, it's been bought up by a developer. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this piece was because I used to go to Dynasty Center as a child with my mom and dad, and understanding that it's a hub for a lot of immigrant Chinese folks to go and shop, the elderly specifically too, to go and shop, get your home goods, clothes, whatever you need. They do tailoring, all the things. But now that they bought up by a developer, a lot of these businesses that are in that building are going to be kicked out, expected this year. We don't know, not sure. It's a lot of kind of, I don't know. But again, they've been here for 30 years, and it's kind of crazy to think they're just going to get kicked out. Because if you go there, it's filled with inventory. So it's kind of mind-boggling to see that it's going to go through the shift. And it's such a character of Chinatown that if it does disappear, it's almost like ending a chapter. of this neighborhood that I feel like a lot of Angelinos would resonate and have been to. Yeah, and then the bottom one is a restaurant that's closed down already. I just thought it was funny to have the Happy SpongeBob next to this, I didn't survive the pandemic restaurant. And it's this unsettlingness and humor to it as well, because of SpongeBob. So those are sort of these quieter pieces that I'm trying to tell with that perspective, as if you're in Chinatown and you're walking around and you're seeing these things.
Mm. How long did it take you to kind of land on the color scheme? Because even with this one and the previous one, there's just such a vibrancy that's popping off. Did it take you a while, or did you kind of land on these colors pretty quickly?
Pretty quickly. I think I think a lot of it's tapped into the memory again of that theme, and I want you to feel some sort of warmth, because I feel warmth when I'm doing certain these pieces. So if there's any way for me to push it further for you, let's say you've never been to Chinatown, you don't know what these things are. If I can at least, push you to feel some type of way because of the lighting and, then I think I'm doing something right.
Yeah, and a real warmth to it, I think, is also what's conveyed. A welcome, perhaps. Like, it does evoke those kinds of feelings, and it's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So these are so the previous ones were digital pieces, so things I did on the computer, iPad, Photoshop. These are wash paintings. So I've done plein air in Chinatown. I would love to do more, actually. So basically, I set up my little easel thing, and I just get myself situated, and then I paint for 1 to 3 hours, depending how I feel. And the sun gets really hot when you're painting, so it's not that fun after a while. So yeah, this is the one at Art Salon in Central Plaza. I just wanted to the play with the colors, because the colors in Chinatown are super fun for a painter. When you can get all these crazy colors together, right? So that's It's also actually interesting. This is also Center Imports, as you saw in my solo show poster. It's interesting when I do paint in the community, because I will get aunties and uncles kind of come by, and I know Cantonese enough that I can say, like, yes, I am painting. And then say, yeah, thank you so much. And then a lot of them said, you're painting too small. No one's going to buy it if you're going to paint that small. Like a lot of
a true anti-criticism. Yeah, no one's going to buy that.
How are you making money?
Yeah. How are you going to live off of this? Perfect.
Like, this doesn't, it's great, but you're doing it wrong. So,
I support you. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that
encouraging,
like
but
mom.
Also like,
right.
You're doing it wrong. Yeah, but I did like that because, not because I needed
not because of the criticism.
The elders to criticize me. I get that enough. Thank you. But it was nice to show, like, hey, I'm a younger person, and I love this place, and I just wanted to paint it. And I think it's special, because I think another thing about doing art as an artist is when you do a portrait or still life, whatever the case, you're making focus of a theme, and people as an audience are going to look at it and go, like, why did they do that? They must care about this thing if they did it, and it looks pretty. So therefore, should I care about it too? And that's kind of the goal with these pieces, was that someone outside could look at it and go, like, this person seems to really care about this place. I wonder why. Let me see why. And then for those in the community, like the aunties and uncles, it's like, I just wanted to share that I love this place. You're not alone. The youngins are still out here, and we're here for you. Whether they see that or not is up to them. But I did like the plein air for that as well, because this art making was a way to connect with others. And I got free egg tarts, so that was really great. Yeah, that was really good.
Come on, Kim, let's go.
Wondery Bakery. Yeah, if you go painting, Wondery Bakery, if they like you, you get a free egg tart.
Sweet.
Yeah, we can go to the next one. Yeah, this is another one as well. It's also Art Salon, but this one's digital. This one, I had more liberties with it. So usually with my digital pieces, I'm not outside painting, because the sun and the glare, you know, it's like you trying to work outside with your laptop. It's gonna be hard to see. But these are mostly I take pictures and then I try to like bring something to it. So this lighting is not the lighting was sort of like that in the picture, but it's not that. Like obviously this was a little more magical because that's what I felt when I was there at night. It's like 9 p.m. It's very quiet. It doesn't feel dangerous. Of course, you know, it's still LA. We gotta, you know, don't be that naive, but
Right.
it felt very peaceful. And then to realize that this neighborhood is historic and that it's been founded by many Chinese Americans, it was just sort of this moment of like, wow, for me. So I wanted to kind of create that through this painting of like, there's just magic here. And if you pause and you look or you learn about it, you'll see it too. So next one, please. Oh, this one's cute. This one is based off of real aunties who were sitting on that ledge. It's like on Hill in Broadway. It's still Central Plaza area. They're just speaking in Cantonese, talking about somewhat like her son who loves like braised pork belly. Like she really was just talking to her friend about her son loving braised pork belly. And pork is great. I was like, wow, what a conversation. It's very cute. It's just very cute. And it's during the pandemic, you know, so we're not even sure how we can be in a space with each other, but they're making do. This is their neighborhood. The yellow building on the right is part of it is full of elderly apartments for the elderly. So a lot of them come down, hang out. So there is this sort of community. If you visit Chinatown enough, you'll see people are just hanging out and chit-chatting, and I think it's just really cute. Next one, please. Yeah, these are sketches. So this is more about just my journey as an artist. Like it's always been Asian American inclined, but it wasn't something I really embraced until recently. Maybe pre-pandemic a little bit, obviously. But yeah, these I just wanted to share. Like this is more of the ink drawing. These are more of the sketchy stuff. And ways of me playing with the theme of what is Asian American and what version is that? What does that look like? And just things that are like vague. I mean, the cat is not Asian American. That's just my cat because I wanted to share a cute drawing of my cat, and he's great. You'll see him in my studio tour.
Brenda, do you feel like your art style has changed from 2017 till now?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I think I think for all artists, so even if you're a beginner artist to a professional artist, and in some ways it's like your identity. I would say like
Sure.
like how your voice is different. Your voice is just how it is. You don't really change anything. So in terms of art style, I think everyone has an innate art style, whether or not it's apparent when you start working as an artist, make art. That's kind of luck of the draw, because I've taught kids before, and I've noticed certain kids will have an art style, and I could tell like you're only 8 years old, but I know when you're 30 years old, I know exactly how you're going to draw. Assuming you don't change, of course, and of course life gets you somewhere, but you just have certain tendencies about what you like to do. And for me, I'm like, yes, it has changed in the sense I'm more confident of what I'm trying to do. I think thematically it's much stronger. But it's never changed in some way. I think that's
yeah. As you evolve, maybe some of the core things that you've always kind of done have stayed the same, but maybe some of the other processes have changed in those kinds of ways.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll always see, if I showed you something from 2010, you'll be like, you know what, I kind of see Brenda.
Oh, sure, yeah.
In there, right? It's not, but let's say it's not even Asian American, it's a drawing of a tree or something.
Right.
Like it's just kind of there. So it is hard to clock on that. For me, it's more about themes and like
interesting.
reworking that.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
This one's an earlier piece too. I think it's 2017 as well. These are earlier pieces. This is one of the more pivotal pieces I did for an anthology comic series. which is just all Asian American artists kind of do a 2-pager comic thing, just talking about being Asian American, what the theme may be. So this one is more about my trip to Hong Kong for the first time. As being Cantonese, Hong Kong feels like the city I could go to and at least navigate with some ease.
Mm-hmm.
And just realizing how apparent. I mean, it's very. I think for anyone in the diaspora of any sort, it's anything American, we have a disconnection with the heritage culture, and there's always a not good enough thing. And in a lot of Asian American conversations, we always talk about the not good enough thing. So this was one of this comics are just about that shift and experiencing the otherness in Hong Kong, and then still is experiencing the otherness as an American. And that was this is one of the pivotal pieces that has inspired me to keep making the work that I do. Not because I thought it was like something, of course I'm proud of it, but it's really the impact that other people have told me about from reading it that's really affected me in that way. Just to know that this is hitting right, to know people feel validated, and people are like, I haven't been able to see this story of mine said in this way by this artist. And I appreciate that. So the fact that I could be some sort of voice to people is really cool. Yeah. So yeah. We have this one. Oh yeah, this one. Maybe this one was for Proud Asian Woman. It was collective during the pandemic. We would be proud Asian women, I guess, when we talk about things suffering in the pandemic, as we all did, like finding our moments, our communities. This was for a Lunar New Year get together that we did, and this one's actually. The connection here is actually more about Chinatown for me. This is sort of another turning point of when I started doing work about Chinatown and loving the community that could be in Chinatown, and the safe place that it could cultivate. So this is just a cool little scene. We're just having some good dinners for Lunar New Year.
Noticing the Hennessy bottles.
Oh yeah, definite.
So that's beautiful. For sure.
Nice catch, Lynn. Yeah. We see where her eye is drawn towards.
I know. I was like, look at this.
Look
at all the food. She's like, look at the Hennessy. Great job, Lynn.
Lynn's ready. This is a piece actually of, this is a traditional piece. So it's done on gouache, and it was for a show at Chunky Paper in Chinatown, but it is actually a still life, metaphoric still life of my mom. With this piece, I wanted you to feel the senses. So it's not going to hit for everyone, but anyone who's had Vietnamese coffee, who's had the white flower oil, and definitely tasted and smelled the Thai chili peppers, should be able to imagine some sort of sensation as they see this. And for me, these are moments representative of my mom. She's fiery. She loves her Thai chilies. She grows her own. And then she also gets tired because my mom was a housekeeper before she retired. So the smell of these like menthol things to ease the aches and the muscles was very common when I was growing up. And then of course the Vietnamese coffee. My mom's from Saigon, so this Vietnamese coffee is like my memory of her making coffee sometimes when we go out to eat, have coffee, and that smell and the condensed milk. So these are all things that, I'm trying to tap into. Yes, they're part of me, but I also understand that like they're also part of a lot of other people. And I really wanted to highlight how beautiful that is and how Asian American that can also be. Yeah.
I love that. For me growing up, it was definitely cafe every morning with theme and the oil. So I remember my grandmother would put that on my forehead or in my nose.
In your nose?
I remember she put it in my nose when I was feeling sick. She's like, oh, just put this there, then rub it on your back, or like, they get the coin out and they start scratching your back with the oils.
Yeah. Your back, that sounds awful.
Yeah. It was horrible. It was horrible, but yeah, no, that
Did-
really resonated with me. It's beautiful. Yeah, no, for sure.
Did you stop telling people you were sick after that? Like, you know what? I'm
Right?
fine. I'm never sick. Don't put anything in my nose or my
But
back.
look, it all worked because look at how healthy she
Yeah,
is
look at
today.
how
Yeah.
healthy and it's
It
running
worked.
marathons.
The
Traumatized.
oil worked. The back scratching, the rashes, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Someone put in the comments about the sweet oil for earaches. My abuelita would do that too. It would be in your ear, and it would mhm.
Did it help? Did it with
Yeah.
the smells and like ear?
Yeah, it totally did. I
Oh,
did
okay,
it to my
well, good.
boys too. Like, let me get some of that cotton ball and some oil. There you go.
Yeah.
Stop your crying.
Wow.
Yeah, see, and they're healthy today.
As a testament to the only thing.
Oh, this I love this.
Mhm. Yeah, these are for the Red Envelope Show. It's hosted by Grumpy Bert, and normally they're in New York. But basically, anyone who's an artist is welcome to be a part of it. I just stayed more on theme because it was Year of the Rabbit and Year of the Cat. So I just wanted to make it really cute. But even in these things, we can celebrate just culturally displaced. But it's literally just a rabbit and a cat. So.
I mean, but they're super cool. There's like a whole kinds of variety of cats and
Mhm.
rabbits. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
super
had some
cute.
doing
Yeah,
some
some have
martial art.
glasses, some are doing like moves.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be so
Some
thrilled
are-
if I got a red envelope like
I
this.
know.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely
thank
frame
you.
it. It's really
Yeah.
pretty.
Oh, I mean, I'd take the money out, and then I would definitely frame
Okay.
it. Not just framing the money.
No, for
Money.
sure. But I
Yeah.
also love it's like the Chinese culture where it's Year of the Rabbit, but also Vietnamese culture they believe in it's Year of the Cat. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's beautiful.
Wow.
I wanted to represent both for sure. Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
I like cats. So. This one's the last one. So this is sort of, I don't know what year it is anymore. So, but it's somewhat new. This one's another one, just hitting nostalgia, but it's also digital. But this is an example actually where I'm a traditional painter. So yes, I can paint. You give me the stuff and I'll paint. And with digital, I try to bring that ability to it so that it does feel somewhat tangible or somewhat,
Mhm.
the visual that you would see in an actual painting. You could see with the Korean pear, it sort of has that. But the great thing about digital is I could do some collage, I could play around with textures, I could play with fonts. So this one is Eat Cut Fruit Because I Love You. And I don't know how many cultures have this sort of thing, but for me, we have a fight. If I have a fight with my mom, or it's just a mundane, we finished eating dinner and I'm watching TV, you're chilling. My mom just like shoves a bowl of like a huge bowl of peeled cut Korean pears to me and like eat. And
Oh my God,
I don't
totally
know.
do that too. To my boys, I'm like, here's some
Did
apple.
you do that?
I totally do. Like,
My mom
eat
does
the
it too.
apple.
She's like, I didn't want fruit. He's like, too bad. You need to take some
Yeah.
and eat it right now.
And if I'm extra nice, I'll put a little peanut butter with the apple. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Because I love
this
you.
is about that. Because I love you. Do that.
But they don't.
Go.
But they won't say. But they don't say "I love you." They
No.
just like, "Here,
No.
eat the fruit."
Yeah.
Right. It's very expensive. Yeah.
I mean, if I don't love you, I'm not going to cut up some
Yeah.
fruit for
It took me
you.
a long time to make this.
Yeah, I peeled this fruit for you. Eat
Right.
it.
Why
How
aren't
dare
you
you
eating
not do
more?
that? Yeah. Why don't you clear the plate? It's like I just had dinner. I can't eat like a bowl of fruit.
I love
I
that.
can't eat
tiny
3
bowl.
apples. I'm
Or
sorry.
they'll
can't
tell you
eat
like,
the
"Oh, you're too
apple.
skinny. You're too skinny. Keep eating. You need to eat
Yeah.
more."
Keep eating.
Yeah.
You need the 3 apples in you. Yeah, so that piece is about this, especially with Chinese American or Chinese families. I think East Asian families, right? We don't say "I love you" very openly. So this is very much about how I was raised to be closed off in that way. And I think a lot of people can resonate with that. It's not just East Asian cultures, but just our families didn't say "I love you," and they would show it in other ways. And we had to identify it as the Asian American or whatever you want to call that. Like, oh, that's them saying "I love you," so I am loved, right? Like you
Right.
understand there's love, but it's just not as obvious as Western media normally shows us. And just coming to terms with that and accepting it and saying that's still beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's cool. Okay, I think you can take the slideshow. Yeah.
That was so fun.
Yeah,
Huzzah.
it really resonated with me a lot. I just like wanted to cry at some point because I'm like, wow, that's my life. That was my life. Like it speaks to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you want to give us a small tour of your workspace? I think people might be interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just bear with me. I'm just holding a laptop, so
Sure.
I don't I don't know if I'll
We're
be
not judgy.
So first we'll show you the computer. There it is. Sorry, you guys, this is like so janky. So, this is my Cintiq here.
Oh, okay.
When it's hooked up to my computer, I actually draw on this. So it's like essentially a huge monitor that I can also draw on. And
Oh.
that's kind of the way I've been able to, as a traditional artist, bring in my abilities to digital. Yeah, so that's the monitor. This is a wonderful artist that I love, Kerry James Marshall. He had a show at LACMA a long time ago. It was wonderful, though. I just love the depiction of just community through his painting.
Barbershop, yeah.
Yeah. And then this is an autograph of Alice Wong, who's a disability justice advocate.
Yeah.
Activist, yes, Alice Wong. I also have her wonderful book. Oh, this is my cat. Wait, I'm sorry. It's so janky.
Oh,
This is my cat.
Hi.
It's like, what? You're on camera, baby. Oh, you're so cute.
Oh, so cute.
He only has one eye, so yeah, you saw him in the original drawing. That was him. So he likes to hang out with me there. These are actually vintage masks from Chinatown.
Oh, wow.
So they're just cool. And here's my piece. I just love them. I don't know what to do with them, but it's like this is just kind of
No,
So
it's
these are wow.
hand painted paper mache. Like, what do you like? You can't even.
yeah.
Where are you
No,
gonna
they're
get that?
cool. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Just decorative, and it just brings you joy. Yeah,
Put them there.
that's enough.
Yeah. And then these are scarves. So this is a scarf I did. It's actually from American Born Chinese, the Disney show. So my friend actually printed a scarf for me of a painting I did of it, which is really sweet.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
And then this is another one that resonates with me, Studio Mish. So they do a lot of Wing and Wong Co work. It's a store in Chinatown in New York. But just like you could see, it's the still life, the objects that are very specific, like the stool is very specific, right? I love that idea of like, what are the objects that capture culture and capture your memory? So I love that piece a lot. Oh, this is also an easel, but I just haven't had a chance to paint on it. Yeah, so I have painting stuff here, more Chinatown things here. So my books, let's show the books as we are at the library, right?
Yeah.
These are some of the books. Most of them are graphic novels or art books. So you can see it's
Wow.
there.
Do you have a favorite book you're reading right now?
Yes, it's actually this one. This one, My Body's Not an Apology, just because it's talking about self-love in a, I don't know how to even, it's radical self-love, and it's just talking about it differently. And when I read it, it is part feel-good, but part reframing how we think about culture and society and how we frame ourselves. So I've been really enjoying that one. And then there is, I have a store, so I have a lot of shipping stuff. Like I have merchandising, shipping. So it's more than just like, oh, you just paint and stuff, right? It's like, well, I unfortunately I'm a shipping and fulfillment store as well. So I have a lot of just things to ship things in. And then just my general area. Oh, by the way, my friend might be here, Corey Angry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got yes. We have
So
books.
I have my friends' work around the
Nice.
place. More Chinatown things. Oh my God! Wow.
What? What's that?
Oh my
Well,
That's
look
so
at that bag.
God.
But Brenda, how can someone get such a magnificent bag for free? I mean, that seems impossible in this day and age.
Wow. Where would they go, Kevin?
Where could they
Where would they
possibly get one?
I think so. The Central Library Store, and then do you sign up? Do all the local branches have the?
All
Yes,
of our
all
libraries.
72 branches and Central.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Just
We're
register.
running low here at Chinatown, so you better hurry if
are?
you want to come to Chinatown. Yes.
Sign up for the summer reading
Sign up.
challenge if you
Because it's
want.
free, right? When you sign up.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yep.
Free.
Yeah.
Register now.
Yeah.
Woo.
Register now, yeah, because it's free. It is a really good bag. It's
Yes.
Beautiful.
Canvas.
You can hold up to at least 8 books in there. I've tested it.
8 books. Oh, I could probably put all
You
these
did a
in
book
there,
test, Lynn.
Yeah.
A true librarian.
Huh?
Have some book stats.
Yeah, we have Interior Chinatown.
Oh,
We have Year of the
yeah.
Tiger with Alice Wong.
Oh, yep.
We
Nice.
have Jimin and Auguste from BTS, and then some other books.
I was gonna say, I noticed you're a BTS fan.
I saw that
Yeah,
on the
like
wall
the
too.
All right, who's your favorite singer in the group?
Wow.
Because he likes art.
Oh, because he
Aw.
likes
So
art.
I have to say, I like the artist.
Wow.
I know. This is also the BTS wall.
All the army out there,
army out here.
follow Brenda Chi.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, so that is the quick tour of where I work.
Beautiful.
Alright.
That was so fun.
Yeah. Brenda, I'm kind of curious, as an artist and or when you were a child growing up, how did your mother take it when you told her, like, I'm going to be an artist? Like, this is my jam.
I would say I think I started when I was in high school. I think that's where it's like, oh, why is she doing this stuff? But they also knew I was really good at it, though. So they were like, yes, you're good at it. We like that. But what are you doing? And I was still told till I was, I go to college, I got a degree and everything, right? I was still told until like probably when I was 24, hey, why don't you get a degree as a nurse? Just,
Wow.
Why don't you just go ahead and do that too? I was like, I just graduated. Like, what do you want? What are we doing here? They're like, well, we just don't want you to, both my mom and dad, we just don't want you to suffer because the work that you're doing, the career that you've chosen, like, sure, you love what you do and we love that, but we don't want you to suffer. You're going to work really hard just to find work. So that was definitely tough, but now they kind of quieted down a bit because I think also because I'm not asking them for money or anything. So I think it helps. Oh, she's working. Okay. Oh, she has a job. Okay. So it's still very much like they're not totally aware of what I do. They're not totally aware that I do this work specifically about being Asian American in some ways, even though my mom's seen the show. So it's just kind of this acceptance.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a good thing, I guess, to get your
that.
parents to just be like, okay, not asking for money, seems to be doing okay.
We'll leave her alone.
I mean, I feel like that's how my
she's
mom
gonna be a
felt about
nurse.
me for a long time. Is like once I stopped asking for money, I was like, okay, he's got into another level. So
But then you got to start giving your parents money. That's how it is now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's $100, Mom.
This is hush money.
Yeah.
I'm paying you to don't tell me to be a nurse.
No, this is when you bring her the tote. You bring them to the tote, and then you're like, here's some stickers, Mom.
Right.
All of Los Angeles has my artwork, Mom.
I'm in every library.
Every
all
library.
72 branches, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty epic.
I want to ask, like, so for every artist out there, that's struggling or trying to find their voice, like, what do you tell them, or someone that's young that is really wanting to be an artist and is passionate about it?
In terms of voice, I think living your life and the more you know yourself, gets you closer to your voice. Some people just have it. Some artists, I've seen it, they just know what they're doing and it just flows from here to the paper, right? For me, that was not the case. For many, it's not the case. And just understanding that your journey is your own and it's really hard to be an artist. I remember asking a professor of mine after I graduated, because it was so hard to find work or consistent work. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with the money and the art? Like, do I keep doing this? What do I look for another job? Do I look for a new career just to get myself up? Did I fail? And he just laughed and he was like, Brenda, this is very interesting. Like, this is really important. And I need to tell you, art is hard. And then he just like, and that was it. I was like, okay. Art is hard.
Not advice, just some words. Because you can't really do anything with art is hard other than accept it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
That it is hard. Again, some people have it easier. It's a lot of luck and opportunity, I think, for any creative place that you're in. Sometimes it's who you know. Sometimes you're right at the place at the right time. And it's just hard. Part of it's not your control. Part of it's you work really hard and you hope you get rewards from working hard. But as we all know, that's not always the case. So in terms of voice and cultivation, it's really like within your own means, whatever you can afford, keep pushing and doing what you love. And like that, and that I think is actually hard, because it's hard not to look at social media online, other people, and go like, well, I need to do this. I need to make Pokemon art because it's easy, easy and like easy to like get people to love, right?
Right.
But it's like, well, what if you don't like Pokemon? Don't do it, you know. But it's you start entering that sort of place. So in terms of voice, like really practice knowing who you are and knowing what you love, because that will take you where you need to go.
Right. So true, because when we saw your work, it was featured in Alley Magazine. It was apparent that it was you loved what you were doing. So we're like, we want her. So
Thank you.
there you go.
I guess it's always the hope too that the work you're producing resonates with more than just you. I guess that's really where a lot of the fear comes from. It's like, I love it, but you put it out and you have no control over how the public reacts to it, and that's where a lot of I guess that's where a lot of the hope comes from. Is like, hope they like it. So yeah. If you were to go back in time and kind of give yourself some advice when you were first starting out, what would you kind of tell yourself now that you've kind of been in your career for a while?
Boy, like it's just that it is hard. It's just like literally like, oh, you think it's hard because you know you let's say you're in high school and you're drawing and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make a comic, I'm gonna do that or whatever. It's fine, right? You're like, this is doable, I could do this. But when you're trying to make a living off of it, yeah, and then you're just trying to live, you're just trying to grow up as a human being. That, you know, a lot of growing pains as well when you go into that as well. So it is just hard. It is also for me, I didn't have confidence in my voice, partially because of the training that I was given, and not a lot of non-BIPOC. Okay, so a lot of professors were white, just to be transparent, and a lot of them did not resonate with the work that I was doing. They didn't understand what I was trying to do. So in that way, I, as a student, and I think it's different now, but as a student back then, it was just like, well, I don't think I can pursue this then because no one understands what I'm talking about. Even my peers who are also Asian American sometimes would be like, why are you doing this? And it was a different time, because now, as you know, we see more Asian Americans on media, and we see more art and stuff online. It's a different narrative, right? Which is great. But for me, I would tell myself, like, just have more confidence and dive into who you are, because the answer is always going to be there. The work you create, you know, you really have to believe the fact that people say, like, the work you create is work that no one else can create. You have to believe that.
Yeah.
Because it's really true. Like, these point of views that I'm sharing, like, yeah, sure, an artist might do another still life. That's a metaphor of their mom, but it's just going to hit different. And there's always going to be another artist better than you. So there's no point in trying to be, like, technically the best, stylistically the best, social media the best. You just have to compete with yourself and really, like, focus in on what makes you special, what makes you unique. I know it sounds really cheesy, but the voice that I have has kept me unique. And also to make a lot of friends. who are artists, because their feedback is, for anyone, just like their feedback is the best thing in the world, because they're coming from a really loving place. They understand the pains it is to be an artist,
Yeah.
and they can see your voice even if you can't see it.
No,
Yeah.
I think self-confidence is probably one of the hardest things to kind of
Mhm.
get over the hump, I would imagine, as in any creative field, because um, it's difficult unless you're starting to get some sort of validation early on.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. I guess it's the journey part is having to do enough of the work to be like, you know what, I am confident in what I'm doing,
Mhm.
and I'm not worried about it. But that's a long trip, and that's where part of the artist hard journey, I would imagine, comes from, because you just have to do so much of it to get to a point where like, you know what, I don't care, I love it, and I'm hoping
It
other
is.
dudes too. And then so I guess if you're young out there and you're, wanting to do creative field, just, it is the journey, and you have to just do enough of it to really get to a point where, um, you can say confidently, I believe in myself and I believe in the work, and I'm just going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
I
and
would
that's
imagine a
definitely
lot of
where
it. Yeah.
the Chinatown pieces came from. If I didn't do the Chinatown pieces, and those were for myself, they were not for any purpose. I wasn't here trying to make money or whatever, get traction. It was for me to express myself.
Right.
And because I shared it online, Chelsea, who owns Lehman Space, was like, "Hey, I love what you're doing. I know exactly what you're trying to say here. Can we do a show?" So like it is a lot of confidence and just doing it and sharing it and being okay and learning to have tough skin about not everyone's gonna like it, not everyone's gonna resonate. That's okay.
Right.
Yeah. It's great. And we love it.
Yeah.
Thank
One of
you.
our questions we had was we didn't ask this yet, right, you guys? What was your relationship and what is your relationship with the library? Because I know you had a close relationship when you were in high school.
What is my relationship with library?
Are you seeing other libraries? Are we just LAPL specific?
We need to be
Yeah.
You have a
jealous.
favorite branch?
Branch.
Yeah.
When I see the most. When I take out students. So the library, as a kid, it's like a place where all the kids went to. Not just a different time. Like the kids, I don't know. The internet was different time. So like the library was a place of entertainment, right? Because you're just like, I don't know, just go home and do nothing. Huh? So I love libraries because it brings out a childlike part of me. I remember looking through the books, seeing what are interesting books, just that fun part of browsing. Um, and then also I just love art books. So as an artist, oh my gosh. I mean, those are some of my books. I have way more that are just art books. It's hard not to collect. We just love books. I love books. And for the library specifically, and like how it's a place for a lot of kids and teens. For me, I went to high school in Alhambra High, and we had this lovely librarian at the high school, Terry Cannon, Mr. Cannon, and he actually helped me and my friends who were just kind of these random kids. We don't know what we're doing, but we had an art club. I made an art club because I liked art. And he was like, "Hey, hang out with me. You guys, you're more than welcome to come after school." And he was like, "Let's do a show at the library." So I was like, "Okay, we'll do a show." And he was just supportive, and he was there for us. When we're just trying to do some fun stuff, we're not in a sport, and we're not in dance, or we're not, So we're kind of just here. And he created this great place. He had manga added to the library. I don't know if this is the norm now, but back in the day, that was not the norm. So like, it's just things like that. And like, I would see other kids who would just like hang out there. It's a safe place for a lot
Yeah.
of kids who might not know what to do right now after school or whatever, or,
Right.
Doesn't have family at home, or what are they going to do? So it's just, with Mr. Cannon, I feel so much love for, because he passed away during the pandemic. And the impact that he's had for me, but for other students, because he ended up working at the Allendale, Pasadena library as well. It's just, he's done a lot of beautiful work because he's just a lovely human being. And he's helped, anyway, he's done a lot of great things.
Librarians.
No, that's a great
Librarians
story.
are the
Yeah.
best. Librarians are the best because I think about kids who might not have an adult or guardian to be the sort of, let me take care of you in some capacity for
Your
you,
champion.
right?
An
Mhm.
advocate
Yeah,
too, it
and
sounds like. Yeah.
yeah, and that's also one of the pieces. That's why I have the coyote and the mountain lion in the illustration, is because I didn't really want an adult there, because I'm like, I want to represent the kids who have to go to the library after school because there's no one to look
Right.
after them. The library was close enough; they can hang out there and do their thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to represent those kids because the library means so much to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That's a great reason. That's a great story. And
Yeah.
it's nice that someone really advocated for you in that way and created a
Yeah.
safe space for you to grow. It's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did have a comment here. I'm going to put it up from Warren Hong. Art Salon. Yeah, you
Oh my
can.
god. It was. Warren, I think you left a post-it note at my show, right?
I love that.
It's great. No, I have it.
Punk Rock Club.
Yeah.
This was great. I wish Warren, can you just tell us more?
Warren, you have 4 minutes. Get in your
It's
comment.
really history. Yeah, Hong Kong Low was like, I've heard so many, like when I did these pieces, I heard a lot of stories from people who are like, I have family members who used to be here, or people who are like, I have memories of being here. This was my favorite restaurant. It's people like Warren who I feel like I'm glad I could make some sort of art piece so that then Warren has a space to be like, hey, let me tell you that, yeah, my family helped run the restaurant here. And it was a punk rock scene. Like, no one knows that Chinatown was like a punk rock scene. It's insane. Wait, there's no like picture? I need signs. Like, how cool is that?
Wow. Yeah. Maybe the next art show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chinatown punk rock scene. Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing, Warren.
Yeah. Oh, he put in one more comment.
Oh, there we go. Documentary's coming.
Wow.
Yay! Yes, Christy. I asked Christy for actually some family photos because I wanted to continue doing my Chinatown project, and I wanted to feature your family in
Nice.
some way.
We have one more viewer question, and then I guess we'll wrap it up here. What's your favorite piece of art that resonates a lot to you?
That's my friend Charlie. Hi, Charlie. We watched trash reality TV together. So, 90 Day Fiance Forever. Resonates
sorry.
with the most. No, good.
Okay.
Honestly, it's that Chinatown one. The one with the light and the sparkly stuff, and then
On the
nighttime
lamp. Yeah,
scene.
at the nighttime
That one
one.
resonates a lot because it's not easy to have a feeling for how you want to make the art piece, have a vision for it, and then actually execute it correctly. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it's like a near miss, and this one felt like it hit. I wanted to show to people, I find Chinatown really magical, the history, the spirit here, and that piece is about that, and I feel like it shows that.
Yeah,
Thank
perfect.
you for sharing.
Thanks,
Nailed
Steve.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I remember thinking of being a little kid, and my parents we would go to the restaurant at night, and it's like you captured it. And there was that place where you used to be able to throw your coins. Yeah.
Oh, the fountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, definitely still there. If you guys ever hit up General Lee's, after at night,
I get that party on with the Hennessy.
Yeah.
With her Hennessy. We got Lynn's number.
But you definitely see the lights. There's so many beautiful lanterns turned on at night when you walk through that Central Plaza. And it's so beautiful, and it really does feel safe.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah, definitely recommend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we sign off, Brenda? And thank you again so much for just being a part of our summer reading challenge as our featured artist. It's really resonated with the public a lot, and
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
that's all I care about.
We really appreciate all the hard work you put in and thoughtfulness you put into the art pieces.
Thank you.
And we're going to have another program with Brenda, aren't we?
Yes, we are. On June 29th, we're going to have a program with Brenda here at the Chinatown Branch Library at 3:30 p.m. If you love drawing and you want to come learn how to draw with Brenda, come on by.
Yeah, we'll be having it up on the calendar listing soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
Brenda.
Brenda.
Thank you all so much. It was lovely.
Okay.
Thanks all who came by.
See you
Thank you,
soon.
friends.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
See you
Thank you.
soon. See you
Yeah,
soon
see
in
you very
Chinatown.
soon. Appreciate you.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for joining us for today's LA May program. If you'd like to see more of our amazing programs, go to lapl.org/events.
Yes,
It's a
and
new
please
move.
remember to sign up for our library's summer reading challenge, which will run from June 5th to August 5th. For more information, please visit lapl.org/summer to learn more, or just come to your local library and sign up in person and get a free tote bag.
While supplies last.
last.
While
While supplies last. While supplies last.
They're very popular. So yeah, run to your local branch to get a summer reading challenge to sign in.
Right. They're really beautiful. And
Yes.
you can also sign up on your phone, but you have to go actually into a branch to get the tote.
Your phone will produce the tote.
Right. And the other cool stuff that comes with it while supplies last.
Yes.
Until next time, we truly appreciate all your support, and the success of LMAID and all of our library programs could not happen without viewers like you. So thank you so much. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Brenda.
Yeah, thank you, Brenda.
Great
Thank you,
summer.
boss.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Lynn. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.